Fred Williams, XL Primed. We're working on a home or a project or whatever, and we need to keep track of completion. Over here, we have our data. We have an electrical and we have plumbing, and then we have contractors and et cetera, et cetera. In the end, what we're doing is counting non-blanks versus the total. We want percentage of job completion. And simple math would be 1 divided by 3. Okay, if that was the case here. In this particular case, we're going down, so we'd look at electrical. We're going to compare electrical. We're going to add these 3, or we're going to go across. It doesn't matter. Here we're going down. We have to, because this is what we're checking. We're checking to see the completion of house A, house B, or house C, or project A, or project B. How do we do this? Well, we have multiple criteria, right? We have to check if the job, and we have to check the house. We can't just go, well, we could, but it'd be ugly if we checked all of this compared to house A, B, and C, and the output would be silly. Here is the output. Here's the anatomy, and here's our write-up. Here is the formula, B5 to B12. That's our range. What's our criteria? H5, electrical. We're checking electrical. Criteria, D5 to D12. We have to check this particular production. In other words, if this is blank, well, it's not done. If it's completed, it's done. We're just going to check all of the non-blanks versus the total. And that'll give us a percentage of completion. Well, here, as I said, electrical's done for house A, but house B is obviously, they haven't started electrical. But plumbing, they've started. Plumbing down here, they've just started the plumbing on house A. The second criteria would be D5, D12, not blank. In this example, job demonstrates one method for summarizing house completion. Below is the formula. I just explained it. There are numerous ways to summarize data using COUNTIFs, SUMIFs, and so on. This example illustrates a particular and arbitrary method. If you want to use this approach, then do so. Again, this is all about style. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And whatever the requirements are for whoever you report this to, if it's internally, do whatever you want. The table from B5 to F12 is a list of job requirements, as I stated, indicating job completion. Completion by job is completed for housing A using COUNTIFs as follows. All right, I just explained that. Using the job value in H5, electrical, the first data pair. What's the first data pair? It's B12, H5. This criteria 1, range 1, criteria 1 would be your data pair. The second data pair would be D5 and the not blank. This is not equal to, I'm just saying not. Using the job value in H5, the first data pair counts only electrical data. The second list combination counts entries in D5 that are not blank. In this example, the result is a count of all house A completions for the electrical group. I don't think I need to go any further in terms of this. It's very straightforward. Just notice, and I did this on purpose, how tough it is to comprehend or read all of the letters. Hence, you're not going to see any name ranges. Your choice, but name ranges would make this so much easier to walk through. COUNTIFs, well, we're dividing by the total number in H5. COUNTIFs, B5, B12, and then H5. So we're just going to count 3. And we're going to go 3 divided by 3 is equal to, well, it's going to be 1. So here we go. Criteria range is just going to point out this in the blue. H5 is your red. D5 to D12 is right here. And go over here, we're just going to see criteria range and completion. If we just look at COUNTIF, F9, we get 1. if we look at COUNTIF here, we're going to get 1. Why? It's pretty obvious. 1 divided by 1 is 1. We look here. Let's see if we can capture this. F9 is not going to give us what we want. Sometimes you can persuade Excel to spit out some output here, and it doesn't. See, and some of these functions are cooperative and some are not. And here, what I'm trying to get to is the non-blanks versus the total. And here, the only way to do that is keep fussing around with this thing. The best way to get to this thing, some of these functions are cooperative, some are not. Because we're working with two different, well, we're working with the same function, but this division will separate any viewability. So all I can do is hit F9 here, and it's going to be 0.2. And then we hit escape, and then we go over here to this COUNTIF and do the same thing, and it's going to be 1, F9. If we do this, okay, highlight this entire argument here, F9, hit F9, 5. What is it? It's counting all plumbing. And then here, if we look and just hit F9, this is going to give us, what is it counting? It's going to count the 2 divided by 5 for what? This is house B, plumbing. So 2 divided 5 is 40%. That's how it works. And this other one would be 1, 1, and this is just going to be 1 divided by 5. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.